Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Probably going to have a short video for today. I wanted to talk about the idea that from time to time on this channel, I'm going to talk about judging other people, being judgmental, I'm not trying to judge. You're going to probably hear me say that stuff a lot. And to be honest with you, it's mostly just me reminding myself that that is something I'm always trying to work on. Um, but I was listening to something earlier today that really hit home for me, and it was like really resonated deeply to the point that I wanted to talk about it myself. And that is the fact that you're going to experience a lot of darkness, a lot of low vibration, a lot of evil here on planet Earth. Because this is about the most difficult place there is in the universe. And we have to often experience and go through pain and trauma and experiences with darkness. These are low vibrational people. These are unhealed people. These are people with their own backgrounds of trauma and mistreatment and abuse or neglect, or they are people who have been involved using substances. And what's happened is that they're easy prey and easy targets for evil energies, dark energies to attach. These are your narcissists. These are just people that you would just say, man, that's a bad person, or that's not a very nice person, or man, that person's awful, or those types of things where you maybe just naturally would make judgments about these folks based on their behaviors. So one of the things I really wanted to just make a point of is, it's really important to not be judgmental because you don't understand other people's paths. And there's always a story behind why somebody may behave the way they do or go through some of the things that they've had to go through in life, because we all have our own paths and you don't know what somebody else's path is. And so when I'll say things like, I don't want to be judgmental, it's because I know that everybody has their own soul path. And even these dark people, these low vibrational people, they have their own soul path. And some people have just gotten off the path, or they've taken like a serious detour, and it's going to take them a long time to meander their way back onto the path because they got involved in things, or they let their egos run wild with them and have taken them in a different direction. The fact is everybody always ends up getting on the same path. It's just some people get there sooner than others. Having said all of that, there's never, ever an excuse, a valid excuse for somebody to mistreat another person. So you can use your trauma and your neglect and your abuse and your perceived mistreatment in life, and you can go one of two ways with it. You can use it to make you stronger, or you can be a victim and then use it as your excuse to mistreat other people. So if I ever use expressions like person's just evil, dark, low vibrational, or one of my favorite words is they're vile, there's just nothing good about them as a human being, it's not so much that I'm being judgmental as much as it is me not letting these people off the hook to mistreat other people, because that's just an excuse, and there's never a good reason to ever mistreat somebody. So there's a difference between holding people accountable and responsible for their actions, and then not judging people because they're on a soul path that we don't have an understanding of. And so I wanted to like have a preemptive video or message about this, because if you're somebody that feels like, well, I don't want to judge, and you don't know, and that's okay. Don't make excuses for bad people. There's a difference. And I wanted to be clear about it, because from time to time, you're going to hear me talk about this and go there. And I just don't want to get a bunch of crap in the comments saying, well, Mr. Sitting up there on your high horse, I thought you were not, judgmental and blah, 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 blah. That's not the story. I'm not going to take any shit from people who mistreat me, and neither should you. Okay, anyway, that's all I wanted to say for today's video. I hope that it hits a nerve, makes you think. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.